Hi, thanks so much for joining me today on Soap Queen TV. I'm Anne-Marie from brambleberry.com and soapqueen.com, and today I have a super fun project for you. We're going to make these gingerbread man soaps. Look how great they look! And as if that wasn't enough, I've designed a box template that you can download to make a finishing box for these awesome soaps. The ingredients to make this gingerbread man are quite simple. You can either buy the entire kit from brambleberry.com or buy the ingredients separately. This gingerbread man mold is awesome. Check out this detailing that goes on the piping on the outside. It's deep, so it makes it really easy for us to make a unique, awesome looking soap. The first step to making our gingerbread man is to do the piping. The piping just uses regular white melt and pour base. You don't color or fragrance this. You don't need very much, just about 1 to 2 ounces of the white melt and pour base. For the white piping, you can use either the injector that comes in the PJ's toolkit, or if you don't have an injector, I'll show you how to use a dropper as well. Draw some soap up into the injector. Spray your gingerbread man with alcohol. This helps the white to go into all the details really easily. Push gently down on the injector plunger. Notice how nicely and controlled the white soap comes out. It's easy to not make mistakes using the injector, but if you do, I'll show you how to clean them up in a second. Spritz this with alcohol when you're all done with the piping. We're doing all the piping and the eye and the smile and the eyebrows. Now that we're done with the injector tool, use a cup of hot water to clean it out easily. Keep cleaning this a few times by rinsing the hot water through it. You don't want any of the soap to harden up in there. Now, if you'd like to use a dropper, that's totally fine. It's a little larger opening and not quite as easy to control, but quite manageable because I'll show you how to clean up your mistakes if you make any. Spritz with rubbing alcohol, draw some white soap up into your dropper, and follow along with the piping. Don't forget the eyes, the mouth, and the eyebrows. Whoops, I just put white soap in that button. Oh well, that's okay. I was going to show you how to clean this thing up anyways. Let this all harden. While it's hardening, go ahead and prepare your Merlot colored soap. You don't need much, just 1 to 2 ounces. Using the scraper pick that comes in the PJ's toolkit, gently scrape away at any overpours, mispours, or anything that doesn't quite look perfect. This tool really helps you be precise. Now that our white piping looks perfect, it's time to do the red buttons. Color your 1 to 2 ounces of melted clear soap with Merlot mica. You don't need a fragrance yet. It's such a small amount, it won't affect the final bar. Using either the PJ injector syringe or a dropper, fill in your buttons. And don't forget the bow. When you're done using the injector, make sure that you rinse it out with hot water. You don't want any of that soap to harden in there. It's not easy to clean out. It only takes about 1 to 3 minutes to let this harden up. Now it's time to make the body of our gingerbread man. Melt 14 ounces of clear soap in the microwave. When the soap is all melted, add your fragrance, add your color. For this, we're going to use Ginger Snap. It normally discolors brown, but since we're discoloring this soap already because our mica is colored brown, it doesn't matter. Just do 1 to 2 droppers of fragrance. In theory, you can use all the way up to ½ ounce of fragrance oil per pound of soap base. It's your preference. Stir that in well. Now it's time to add your cappuccino mica. That looks pretty good. I like that color. Stir it in. We're getting some mica bubbles. Remember the secret to bursting your mica bubbles? Rubbing alcohol. The surface tension of the mica bubbles is broken and it's much easier to stir the color in. Once the color is fully stirred in, you added your fragrance, it's important to check the temperature. That's too hot. We could either wait around or we can try my trick of adding some clear soap base into our hot soap base. The energy that the hot soap base expends trying to get those clear soap chunks to melt down will actually cool the entire 14 ounces of soap. Pretty cool, huh? We don't want to pour above 130. Our detail work is so small on our piping that it'd be very easy to melt this. So temperature is very important in this project. Spray your detail work with rubbing alcohol and pour slowly and gently on an area that doesn't have any soap. And a final spritz of rubbing alcohol to get rid of any bubbles. Put this aside, let it harden for 3 to 5 hours. While that's happening, I've got a special project for you to make this very gift-worthy. I've created a box template for you. You can download it at brambleberry.com or soapqueen.com. If you're like me, you don't have a fancy printer that can print on this hard, thick cardstock. So we have to do an extra step. If you do have a printer that can print on cardstock, you can skip a step. But for the rest of us, go ahead and print out your template on a regular piece of paper. Once the template is printed, it's time to cut. Trace around the paper template on your cardstock. Notice I've lined up my paper template with 2 sides of the paper. Just means I don't have to cut those sides. Bonus! Once you're fully traced, it's time to cut. It's time to score your box to easily make folds. I'm actually using a special tool you can use for scoring, but you can use a butter knife as well. Line up your template with your cutout flat box. Notice I've put in where the score lines need to go. Use your ruler to line everything up perfectly. Then take your butter knife or your scoring tool and just go down and make a score. Do that for the entire template. Fold each score down. Notice how these flaps come in. Glue those flaps down. If they're not staying down, go ahead and stop for a few minutes. Just put something heavy on there so they stay down. Put a thin strip of glue right here. Fold the sides and the tabs in, and you've got one side of your box done. Set your box aside with something heavy in it until it's time to put your amazing gingerbread soaps into them. And now let's check on the gingerbread soaps and pop them out. I've got my gingerbread soaps and they look so cute. I can't wait to pop these out. Push gently down on the gingerbread soap. The soap should pop out fairly easily. Look at that. 3 happy little gingerbread man. They're so cute, but I see one of them has a facial deformity. We must fix that. Notice how this one's eye and eyebrow kind of look like a, mono eye. You can use the pick in the scraper cutter tool. Peel that white away. And look at that. You can't even tell we've done some plastic surgery on him. Does he look cute? Use a regular plastic wrap from the store to wrap your gingerbread man to protect him from the elements. Remember, this is going in an open-faced box, so we want him protected. If you don't know how to wrap your soap using plastic wrap from the grocery store, please refer to my Soap Queen TV episode on packaging. And let's pop this into our soap box. It fits perfect and it looks great. There's some finishing touches you can do though to make it look even better. A little bit of tissue wrap works wonders. Just tear off some tissue paper and arrange it in the bottom so you can see it around Mr. Gingerbread Man. Then take some ribbon of your choice and just tie it around nicely around his middle. Kind of like a seatbelt holding him into his box. Look at these 3 little gingerbread men with their perfect little bows. Don't they look great? They'd make awesome stocking stuffers, perfect gifts to give away for Christmas, or an ideal thing to really spruce up your craft fair booth at your holiday shows. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Soap Queen TV, where I showed you how you can make a gingerbread man without any of the calories. The beauty of soap. Until next time, happy soaping. And finally, the all-important mold. Look at the great detailing. You can see how this is going to make it really easy to make our Santas